Neonic Void Productions presents.
Hello and welcome back to Spookocalypse. I am your host. I was about to say DM again, Zio, and today I'm joined with, you know him, you'll love them, the creepy shadow in the corner that talks to you while you sleep in an ASMR voice, Bunyip. Ooh.
Well, that just makes me sound like a common stalker.
Oh my god. I was trying to make you an ooky spooky creature. Yep.
Oh, look. Like, hey, I would try to downplay. I was just like in the corner. Like, what am I doing there?
You're standing there menacingly.
What if it's just like an awkward, spooky creature? He's like, "Do you want to pet my dog?" And like, what? I brought my little teacup Porky here.
My little doggo.
I just want to show him. And like, oh, you're not that scary. You just want to show your dog to people. Okay.
Yes, I love my dog. You love my dog? I love my dog.
If you don't love my dog too, I'll have to murder you.
Oh,
Or whatever spooky creatures
Hey.
do. Fine, maybe not murder. I'll just scare you so bad that you won't want to leave your room.
Ooh.
We have to
God.
keep it kid friendly, right?
Not the move we're talking about today.
Of course.
I wouldn't say this move was kid friendly. So before we get into that, if you look in the description below, you will see a lovely link to a link tree that will take you to a bunch of links that will lead you to the other podcasts of the Neonic Void Productions, as well as the YouTube channel. And again, if you want to follow us on Twitter, because I'm not calling it by that stupid name, follow us on Twitter at Spookocalypse. That's SPOOKOCALYPSE. We do spooky shit there. So today's flavor mint is, I want to say catnip, because I can't think of a food that was part of this movie.
Or canary flavored.
Canary. Yes, canary flavored. Canary. Oh God. No canaries were killed in the making of those mints.
I'm sure there's like a creative name that a company could come up with, like
poultry.
I was gonna say like crazy canary flavor.
Oh my God. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be talking about Cat People. Cat People was released, it was released Christmas Day in 1942. The budget for the film was $135,000. Yup. And the production company is RKO Radio Pictures. And I think that's the same people. Isn't that the same people who did who released Snow White? They released the King Kong. I think they were working with Disney before Disney released their own stuff. I think.
I think they have some ties with Disney in the past.
Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. That was, yeah, RKO Pictures. Yeah, it was the same company. But they had ties to Disney back in the early days before they released their own stuff. So, but that's where I know that name from. So back to the Cat People. Bunyip, who starred and or directed this movie?
Well, it was directed by Jacques Tourneur, or Turner, if you want to be American about
it. Yeah.
But most importantly, it's starring Simone Simon as Irina. Sorry, I was like, Irina Dubrovna, and it said that she's from Siberia, although the actress herself is French. We've got Kent Smith as Oliver Reed, Tom Conway as Dr. Louis Judd, a psychiatrist. We've got Jane Randolph as Alice Moore, Oliver's assistant. We've got Jack Holt as C.R. Cooper, who was Oliver's boss, and Alan Napier as Doc Carver, one of Oliver's coworkers, although he's uncredited. In fact, a lot of these are listed as uncredited.
Which is rather interesting.
Like Alec Craig, who's the zookeeper, who's kind of interesting, and Elizabeth Russell as the Catwoman. I had to think about, like, who are they referring to? And it's like, oh, she's in the restaurant. She's wearing all black. And
Yep.
she has, like, a bow in her hair that's vaguely resembles cat ears.
Yup. She's the weird one that talked to what's her face, the main character, in Russian.
Yeah.
Or simula's Russian.
Like Russian or Siberian. It's like, I can't remember the exact words, but basically it means my sister.
Yup. So this film starts off in the Central Park Zoo, as we are introduced to a Siberian-born fashion illustrator, Irina Dubrovna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Irina Dubrovna.
Yeah, Irina.
She's making sketches of a captive Black Panther. She catches the attention of a young marine engineer named Oliver Reed, of course, who strikes up a conversation with her after she scrunched up a piece of paper and threw it in a trash can and missed.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
to a sign, just like,
yeah,
passive aggressively be like,
you're littering. And they strike up a conversation and she's doodling or whatnot. And Irina invites him back to her apartment for tea. And what's funny is she still litters because one of her drawings falls to the ground and it shows a Black Panther stabbed with a knife. Ooh.
And no one tells her to pick it up and put it in the trash.
Exactly. I was like, damn, you litterer. Shame on you. The environment, yo. I don't think anyone gives a shit because everyone's a chain smoker in this movie. Chain smokers. They're at there's that one part where they're at the water, they call it the water jug. There's like, oh, I need a smoke, and they just get a cigarette and light it. And I'm like, damn, everyone's a chain smoker in this movie, or just in general.
It was the 40s. We hadn't invented lung cancer yet.
Nope, we have not invented lung cancer yet. You're correct. So they go back to her.
Irina's talking about, like, I'm not that good at drawing. And then you see the drawing on the ground. I'm like, those are crisp looking lines.
Those are crisp ass looking lines, homegirl. Like that seems a little good, ma'am. You look like you've had some lessons. Which at her apartment, Oliver is shown or sees a statue brain fart. Oliver is intrigued by a statue of a medieval warrior on a horseback impaling a large black cat with his sword. And Irina tells him that this figure is King John of Serbia and that the cat represents evil. According to the legend, in medieval times, the Christian residents of her home village gradually turned to witchcraft after being enslaved by the God, I don't know how to pronounce them. Mamluks?
Yeah, I think it's like Mamalukes.
Mamelu? They're basically basically they're like a mix of Turkish, Southern Eastern European. It's a combination of people, basically. Her aligned high-ranking military, blah, blah. But yeah, this group, but basically she says that her village were enslaved by these people. And they went to witchcraft. And when King John drove these people out of the said village and saw what the villagers had become, he had them killed. However, quote unquote, the wisest and the most wicked escaped into the mountains. And of course, Oliver is like, this is just a little legend. Well, obviously, Irina is taking this very seriously. That story is like 100% true to her.
Yeah, it's like, how dare you not believe in my culture? He's like, that's cute. He's just like, you're cute. You want to go on a date?
And she's like,
Only if you believe what I said about the Mamelukes and the person
yeah,
getting away. You know,
yeah,
it's important to me.
these witches. So from there, Oliver, I think it's like the next day, Oliver buys Irina a kitten. And upon meeting her, he opens the box and says, I bought you a gift. And she's like, oh, what? He pulls out a cat and the cat looks at her and hisses up a freaking storm. The cat's like, I don't like you. I don't know you. Let go of my purse. That's it's a King of the Hill reference for those of you who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm looking at this box. I'm like, please tell me there's holes in this box for that cat to breathe. But okay. I'd be pissed too if I was stuffed in a box with newspaper. Granted, we're in the 40s. So Irina then suggests they go back to the pet shop to exchange it because apparently you can do that. So they go into this pet shop. When they enter said shop, first off, I had to pause it and I'm like, people can get monkeys as pets in the 40s?
I'm thinking so, and I don't know what kind.
They look like lemurs or something along that nature. And I was just like, monkeys? Since when?
Either at one point they became endangered, or we realized that people are having a hard time taking care of them, or some animals are more dangerous than others.
I mean, monkeys are literally wild animals, I would say. So cause I saw that, I'm like, hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. You're telling me I can go to a bookstore in 1942 and a pet store and find monkeys. That's insane. Granted, different time, different place, but still.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
this is a weird side quest, but back when the Harry Potter films came out, tons of people adopted owls. And it was a nightmare because these people didn't know how to take care of those owls. And so a lot of them like, we're going to just have to return them or we'll let them go out into the wild. And it's very problematic to just let your pets roam free and mess with the ecosystem.
Yeah, because that's one way to fuck up an ecosystem in your surrounding area by introducing an animal that if it does not belong there,
mm-hmm.
or there's too many of that species in one area and it throws everything out of whack. So, but I was just mind blown by the monkeys. I was like, what? So from there, they exchange it for a bird, for a canary. And well, when they step into the shop to begin with, all the animals lose their collective minds when she walks into the room. And then they all walk outside because Oliver was trying to talk to the shop owner and she couldn't hear him over nothing. All the animals collectively lost their shit. But the second they all walked out of the room, it got quiet. And I was like, she a cat lady. Mm-hmm. They're like, we don't like you. So she stayed outside while Oliver went in and chose a bird, a canary for her. And
will you exchange this kitten for a smaller animal?
I guess. And I'm just like, you're going to give. And me watching, I'm like, you're going to give this cat person a bird. Wow. That's rude. That you didn't even give a bird a chance. And Irina, during the whole exchange, is very uneasy because obviously all the animals are reacting to her, and she's like, "I don't like the attention on me." So, she then gradually reveals that Oliver reveals to Oliver that she believes she's a descendant from the cat people from her village, and that she will transform into a panther if aroused to passion. Meow.
Other words,
That's the name of the
sexual
episode.
arousal.
That's the name of the episode. Meow.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it was gonna be called Aroused to Passion.
That might be the episode too. Aroused to passion. But I was like, what? Girl. Gets an army into a pussycat. Despite this, Oliver asks her to marry him, which I'm like, hold up there, bro. You want to take put some brakes on that? And of course, she agrees. And I'm just like, what is going on here? And during the dinner after their wedding at a Serbian restaurant, a cat like woman walks over and addresses Irina as, for the English term of the word, my sister. And it freaks her the hell out. And then from there, Irina never consummates the marriage, fearful of the consequences. Oliver is then, of course, patient with her, but eventually persuades her to see a psychiatrist, Dr. Lewis Judd.
Let's go with Judd, like
Judd.
Judd Apatow.
Yes. So Judd tries to convince her that her fears stem from childhood trauma. Meanwhile, Irina is unhappy to discover that Oliver has confided in his assistant, aka Alice Moore. Alice Moore. Alice confesses to Oliver that she loves him. And when Irina chances to see Oliver and Alice seated together at a restaurant, she decides to follow Alice home. And just as Alice hears a menacing sound, a bus pulls up and she boards it. There's some jealousy here.
It's kind of a creepy scene because she's walking,
Yes.
like picking up her pace, and then I don't know if there's sound playing at this time, but like she's looking behind her, and then you see the emptiness of the alleyway, and you're like,
Yeah.
where is Irina?
Yeah, this movie gets some real good like scares. It builds up suspense and shit. It's pretty good. Like, this part was well done. And of course, when she hears a noise, the bus pulls up and takes her. And then we jump over to a groundskeeper discovers several freshly killed sheep and paw prints leading away from the scene. And then it turns into imprints of a woman's shoe. So paws turned a woman's shoe. Irina returns to her apartment and she is shown afterwards weeping in the bathtub. And then Irene dreams of Dr. Judd dressed up as King John, speaking of the key, quote unquote, the key. And she later steals the key to the panther's cage at the zoo.
So Irina and Oliver and Alice visit a museum, and I think it's a museum for ships because they're looking at all kinds of different boats.
Yeah.
And Irina is getting angered because Oliver and Alice seem to ignore her, and then it's like, well, you don't seem as interested in the boat, so maybe you want to go somewhere else. And I can't tell if Oliver's trying to have an affair with Alice or if he's just like, Alice is a good friend. Why can't you get along?
Right?
hmm Then, yeah, Alice decides to use the basement swimming pool of her apartment building. And I'm like, how does your apartment have a basement for swimming?
I have no idea. I thought that was weird.
Like, it
Kind
must
of
be
cool.
a fancy place because most apartment buildings I've been in, their basement is typically used either for storage or for laundry.
Yeah.
But she feels that she's stalked by an animal and she dives into the pool to try to get away. And then Alice screams for help. And Irina shows up and she turns on the lights and she says she's looking for Oliver. And I was like, okay. Of course, Irina leaves and then Alice gets out of the pool, even though she barely swam at all. And then she finds her bathrobe and it's all torn to shreds.
Uh-huh.
So then, after another appointment with Dr. Judd, Irina tells Oliver that she is no longer afraid, but Oliver tells her it is too late. He has realized that he loves Alice and intends to divorce Irina.
And ooh,
So now it's definitely like, yeah, I like her a little more than you, Irina.
that's some bullshit.
But yeah, they go back to work, Oliver and Alice, and they're cornered by a snarling animal. And then Oliver and Alice, they manage to get out of the building, but not before noticing Irina's perfume. So at this point, they realize that it's her. That Irina's been
Yeah, because
turned.
Alice throughout towards the after the pool incident, she thinks that Irina is a cat person.
Yeah. And you don't really see like the transformation, you just see like the extremes.
Yep.
And the way it's designed, like unlike the Wolfman is just like it's the main character in a costume and a disguise. But in this one, it's like here's Irina, and we didn't make a costume for her. We just rented a live panther.
Yep. We literally rented a panther. But the way they the way she does the change, is she goes inside the dark and the cat comes out from the darkness. I thought that was kind of cool on how they worked it.
Like she doesn't have to do anything; she just has to hide and wait.
Yeah.
And so Alice calls up Judd to warn him to stay away from Irina, but he hangs up because Irina shows up just in time for her appointment. And then he kisses Irina passionately, which is not something a therapist should do to their patients. And I
Yeah.
don't even know if this is even established up front, like that they have feelings for each other or anything.
That's weird.
But because her transformation is caused by sexual arousal, she becomes a panther
Yep.
and kills him.
Yep.
We just see the
She
shadow
sure
of it, but
does.
it's just entertaining, just like claws the hell out of him.
Yep.
Oliver and Alice arrive, and Irina slips away and goes to the zoo. So she opens the panther's cage with a key that she stole, and then the panther that jumps out strikes her down. And I can't believe I predicted this little part. I was like, I hope that panther doesn't get hit by a car. It immediately gets hit by a car.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure does. It does.
But yeah, Oliver and Alice find Irina's body lying on the ground, and that's pretty much the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the line, she never lied to us.
I don't I'm a, s- I'm I mean, I don't know.
Like
Unless
I'm
they assume that she wasn't well, she
I
never
think
lied to us.
I think what they're trying to say is that like the
She was.
panther, because there was the panther in the cage that got out and was run over, and they're like, oh, maybe this was the panther that was getting out and killing the sheep and attacking people.
Possibly.
And it kind of reflects the ending of Wolfman, where everyone just
Yeah.
assumes that the person who died is not the Wolfman to protect his
Yeah.
reputation. And then this one has a similar ending where it's like, oh yeah, it wasn't her because she did not. It's like she's not a cat, so therefore she must be clean, right? She wasn't guilty of this, like to protect her reputation.
Yeah. That's what I kind of gathered from that too. It was a little weird, but that line was a little weird. I would have took that line out and just have them find her body laying on the ground and kind of just end it there. But
Yeah, in the movie, and it clearly takes inspiration from Wolfman,
yeah.
which released about a year before. However, it doesn't feel like it's directly ripping off. It just has some parallels.
Yeah.
Namely that in the Wolfman, the main character is like the transformation is symbolic of sexual desire. It's like I can't resist. I have to turn into a wolf and attack people. And then this one, it's similar in that if she gets sexually aroused, she becomes a cat and attacks people.
Yeah.
But this one has a main theme centered around jealousy.
Yeah. Very much so.
Like this one, like she can't help feeling jealous of Alice stealing Oliver away. And
Yeah.
what you do when you're jealous is you feel like something is being taken away from you. Like it's a natural response to trying to protect a resource that you have, such as a person, or if someone's
Hmm.
stealing your property, then that can also be a form of jealousy because, like, I feel like you're taking something from me. And it gets confused with envy, which is more about wishing you had something that someone else had. I kind of want to look more into like the Serbian mythology around this. Like, I don't know if this is made up or if it's genuinely based on some true mythology from Serbia.
Right. Agreed.
But they really only mention the Serbian ties in the beginning of the film, and then that's it.
Yeah. Pretty much it. Because after that, they really don't mention it that much, or really at all, for that matter. From there, let's see. Now, this film did have a sequel titled "The Curse of the Cat People," and in that one, it's apparently based around the idea. Irene, um, Irina Reed comes back as a ghost. Yeah, you heard that right, y'all. A ghost. And Reed and Alice get married and have a kid. And I guess she's haunting the family. So we might do that. We might do an episode on that movie someday. Because it just sounds so bizarre.
Yeah, and it turns out that the rights to this movie ended up in the hands of Universal.
Yeah, when they did the remake in 1982,
Yeah.
which apparently the 1982 version had a real nice what do they call it, a transformation scene where she turned into cat, or Irina turned into a cat. And there's a lot gorier and stuff because this was released 40 years later. You can only imagine. So, rating system 1 out of 5 cats.
Just cats.
Panthers. 1 out of 5 Black Panthers.
Okay.
I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 Black Panthers. I thought this movie was pretty fun. I was kind of the only reason I don't give it a 5 because in the beginning it wasn't really that scary. It seemed more like a romance, and then the bus scene, and about halfway through the film is when it started getting really good, and I'm like, ooh, you know what? I have to give this a 4 because it kept my attention. It was good.
I would agree, and I kind of want to give it like a 4.5.
Ooh, Bunya,
And the point 0.5 is like a baby panther
a baby.
or like a little kitten.
Oh, it's so cute, little panther.
And pretty much for the same reasons. Because out of all the main characters of any of these classic horror films, Irina seemed the most interesting to me
Yeah,
because it was very clear like what her history was, and she's just like, I just want to draw for fashion, but I have a problem about turning into a cat person. And there's like, I don't believe you. You're not actually doing that. Is that you don't actually get sexually aroused and turn to a cat person? Oh, that's a weird idea for a theme. Believing that women don't get sexually aroused.
yeah. That's. I thought, is there an underlining tone here that I don't
It's the
like?
40s. It might be.
There seems like a very questionable underlining tone here that we are not going to discuss.
Yeah, like
Side eye.
she tries to tell the truth multiple times and everyone downplays it or assumes she's making things up.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why the line "She never lied to us" was about.
yeah,
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I did find this to be a neat movie, and it did have the bus scene being a really tense moment, like unexpectedly tense.
yes. It was pretty good.
And it does play well into a scary big cat chasing you, in that
Yeah,
they like to hide in the shadows and they're very quiet, and that's what you would expect for a cat person to do.
yeah.
Adopt those same traits, and then to pursue you in the night and then not make a sound and then hide so well that you can't see them. And then when they can't, you know, kill anything, it's like, fine, I guess I'll kill these sheep.
Right. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. But yeah, so the final score is 4.25 out of 5. Go check out Cat People. If you are looking for it on Blu-ray, Criterion has a wonderful Blu-ray of Cat People, and that's how I watched it. Because my boyfriend had Cat People, surprisingly. He's like, well, let's watch the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray was really nice. So do with that information as you will. But thank you all for listening to today's episode. Catch us next time as we kind of take a break from movies. And for the next month, we're going to talk about things a little more video gamey. Until then, bye.
Goodbye.
Is it weird that when I say bye, I literally wave my hand bye each time?
I wouldn't know. I can't see you.
It's fair.